With the worldwide release of Super Dragon Ball Heroes World Mission for the Switch and PC, more people will be exposed to the series. One way for Bandai Namco to capitalize on the hype would be to sell the cards and build arcade machines in the West, but the best way to do it would be to translate the video game series to a physical tabletop card game. With the global popularity of both the Dragon Ball Heroes series and Dragon Ball itself, this could easily evolve into the kind of scene that Konami has made for Yu-Gi-Oh! And its casual players, tournament players, and collectors alike. The best part is that the cards wouldn't even need to be reprinted in Japan, because everything translates naturally aside from determining card rarity, calculating damage, card action abilities, or touch action abilities, all of which we'll explain later. To properly translate features and mechanics of the game to a physical version, we're going to incorporate things as directly from the game as possible. When it isn't as possible, or if some aspects of the game are too complicated to translate, we'll either simplify or remove them. In the physical version of the game, the materials that an individual player would have are their cards, a battlefield playmat with the attack and support areas, 4 standard 6-sided dice, 5 10-sided dice numbered 0 through 9, 10 hero energy tokens, 14 lock-on clips, 14 ability clips, 13 special accessory clips, special accessory cards, 7 stamina gauges, 7 stamina gauge clips, a 30-second hourglass, a calculator, a dice roll rule card, a damage percentage card, and a rulebook. Like in the arcade and video game series, each battle would consist of 5 rounds with 3 phases in each round. These phases are the prep phase, the power level battle, and the battle phase. The objective of the game is to reduce the enemy team's HP to 0, but if the 5th round ends and no one's HP has reached 0, then the winning team will be the one with the most HP. Each player will have a playmat that resembles the battlefield in the video game. The first phase, the prep phase, is when you choose where to move your heroes and decide whether they should attack or recover. Much like keeping track of life points in Yu-Gi-Oh!, you would need to primarily keep track of HP and power level. A player's max HP would simply be the sum of all of their heroes' HP. Power level can be affected by hero position on the battlefield, stamina, and abilities. Aside from abilities, a team's power level is determined by the amount of stamina units used. Those are always rounded down, so half of a unit doesn't count. All heroes have a power level of 1000 per stamina unit used. In the video game, hero types start out with about 2.2 stamina units. Elite types start out with about 2.6 units, and Berserker types start out with about 1.6 units. To simplify things for the physical card game, hero types can start out with 2 stamina units, Elite with 2.5, and Berserkers with 1.5. Staying in the support area recovers about 1.5 stamina units, so that can be kept the same. Any amount of stamina under 1 unit only yields a power level of 100 for that hero, which means that hero is in danger and at risk of being stunned. Being stunned or in the support area yields a power level of 0. Players can keep track of their hero's stamina by placing a physical stamina gauge below their hero, which would be a tiny landscape-oriented paper with the stamina gauge printed on and a clip to indicate what that character's stamina is. While a hero is in the danger status, failing to block an attack would result in them being stunned. Stun also happens when a hero is attacked and is left with 0 HP before the charge impact battle. We'll also go into more detail with that topic later. When stunned, a hero can't attack or defend, so it's important to conserve stamina. Taking damage after being stunned, restoring stamina in the support area for a round, or using abilities can take a character out of stun. As both players move their cards around and decide to use or conserve stamina, their power levels will change. The team with the highest power level will be able to attack first in the battle phase. Though the support area recovers stamina, it doesn't allow the hero to attack, defend, or contribute to the power level battle, unless through an ability, but it does allow the use of support abilities. The attack area has 3 rows, with each consuming more stamina in exchange for a stronger attack. In the attack area row farthest from the enemy, it consumes 1 stamina unit, increases power level by 1000, and does some damage. The next row consumes 2 stamina units, increases power level by 2000, and does more damage. The closest row to the enemy consumes 3 stamina units, increases power level by 3000, and does the most damage. Since there are an insane amount of variables and multipliers that affect battle damage, we would have to simplify things for the physical game. Using 1 stamina unit should do 0.5 times damage, using 2 stamina units should do 1 times damage, and using 3 stamina units should do 1.5 times damage. We'll talk more about damage later on. Some abilities will either increase or decrease stamina. If the ability simply says reduce or restore, then it will affect stamina by 0.5 stamina units. If the ability says greatly reduce, then it will remove 1 stamina unit. After that, the power level battle begins and the player's collective team power level gets compared to the enemies. Depending on the placement of your heroes and the enemies, one team power level will be higher and that team will attack first. For every 2,000 power level that a team generates, they gain 1 hero energy that round. A power level of 5,000 will generate 2 hero energy. You can also gain a quick bonus of 499 power level if you finalize your formation before the enemy team does. Sometimes that bonus can make the difference between attacking first or not in the next phase. In order to claim that quick bonus in the physical card game, you should verbally declare that you've finished your prep phase. Hero energy can be represented by physical tokens. They can be 2D cardboard tokens, but it would be much cooler to play with 3D plastic tokens. The amount of hero energy that your team has determines whether or not they are able to use their special attacks or ultimate unit abilities during the battle phase. During the battle phase, both teams take turns to deal damage to each other and to potentially defend against those attacks. As mentioned before, power level determines which team attacks first, but other factors determine which heroes attack first. Attack priority within your own team is determined first by these conditions in order. 1. A hero using a lock-on ability. 2. Heroes using a cooperative attack. 3. A hero using a regular solo attack. The next way to establish priority if 2 or more heroes fit the previously mentioned conditions is by type. Elite types have first priority. They often have less power than the other types, but higher starting stamina and deal higher stamina damage to compensate. It makes sense for them to attack first so that they can stun opponents and leave them vulnerable to your stronger heroes. Hero types have second priority. Their stats are the most balanced. They deal average HP and stamina damage. Berserker types have third priority. They have the most power, deal the most HP damage, and deal the least stamina damage. Special types have last priority. However, they still require at least one other attacker on your team to attack at all. The success of a solo or cooperative attack depends on the result of the charge impact, or CI battle. A CI battle happens when a hero attacks. In the video game, the winner is decided with a gauge battle minigame, but in the physical card game, it will be with dice rolls. CI speed in the video game is mostly determined by card rarity and the total amount of points, such as HP, power, and guard allocated to a hero. For the physical card game, the rarity-based CI speed from slowest to fastest will be 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, CP for campaign, or P for promo, and SEC for secret rare. Unfortunately, star rarity is only displayed on the digital cards, not the physical ones. So this lack of descriptive elements would be a good argument for reprinting the cards. However, even without the rarity label, you can still tell what the rarity is by the design of the card. A 1-star card has primarily flat colored effects with a few gradients and sometimes linear textures on its effects. A 2-star card has gold on its effects. A 3-star card has highly saturated colors, distinctive grainy textures on the majority of its effects, and geometric shapes in their backgrounds. A 4-star card has gold and/or silver on its effects, while the backgrounds or the insides of the effects have a distinctly rainbow-colored or multicolored texture. But in some rare cases, the cards may be primarily black, gold, and silver. And a secret rare card has silver and red on its effects. Otherwise, for campaign or promo cards, they will have either CP or P in the card ID. To represent CI speed in a physical game, we made a list of actions to take for dice rolls by rarity. Note that all of the math for each die roll should be performed in the order stated. For 1-star heroes, roll 3 standard 6-sided dice, but subtract half of the lowest number rolled. This should always be rounded down, meaning that ones do not get subtracted. For 2-star heroes, roll 1 standard 6-sided die, multiply the result by 3, and then subtract 2 more than half of the number originally rolled, rounded down. For 3-star heroes, roll 2 standard 6-sided dice. For 4-star heroes, roll 3 standard 6-sided dice, but divide the result by 2, rounded down, and add 2. For campaign or promo cards, roll 3 standard 6-sided dice, but divide the result by 2, rounded down, and add 2. For secret rare heroes, roll 4 standard 6-sided dice, subtract 4 from the result, divide by 4, rounded down, and add the highest number rolled. If there is any trouble remembering the dice roll rules, the game should come with a dice roll rule card to quickly remind players of how they should roll for each hero, and what number range those rules will yield. As for co-op attacks, the CI roll rules of the hero with the highest rank would apply. Perfect CI rolls happen if you can guess what the final number of your roll is before you roll. A good strategy might be to guess low numbers so that if you happen to roll low, you still have a chance of getting a perfect, beating out every other dice roll except another perfect. Miracle perfect CI rolls happen if the dice are all the same number. For single die rolls, you will always roll a second die for a miracle perfect chance, but otherwise it won't affect your roll at all. Miracle perfect rolls have the same value as a perfect roll. An offensive perfect or miracle perfect CI roll will do 10% more damage, and a defensive one reduces damage by 30%. Otherwise, an offensive CI win does normal damage, and a defensive CI win reduces damage by 10%. In the case of a draw, both players must roll until there is a winner. Players are allowed to make new perfect roll guesses, and new miracle perfect rolls are valid even after a draw or series of draws. However, for each draw, CI speed will increase by 1 rank for that battle. In order to win the CI battle, you need to roll a higher number than your opponent. If you win while attacking, your attack goes through as intended, and if your hero has enough hero energy for a special attack, they will do that. If they do not have enough hero energy, there is a chance that they will do a pursuit attack for some extra damage after a CI win. The chance for a pursuit attack will be determined by a roll of 1 standard 6-sided die. The players must roll a 5 or a 6. If you lose while attacking, your attack will be blocked, will deal significantly less damage than it normally would, and special attacks will not activate for that solo attacker or that group of cooperative attackers. As for stat effectiveness and damage calculation, this is the hardest part to translate into a physical card game, since there are so many variables such as the amount of power, the type of hero, stamina used, hero energy costs for special attacks, stat changes, the outcome of CI battles, card action abilities, and whether an attack is solo or cooperative, to name a few. So again, with more math that might not even be accurate to the video game's way of calculating damage, heroes will inflict damage based on the percentage of their power and where they are in the attack area. Attack damage in this game will have quite a few variables, so a calculator would really help during gameplay. The rulebook and damage calculation cards would have the percentages for every type of solo or cooperative attack, including special attacks by the amount of hero energy they consume, card action abilities, and ultimate unit attacks. For any damage numbers with 0 digits in them, you can roll 10-sided dice numbers 0 through 9 to give any attacks a damage bonus. This can be done once per damage calculation. Damage calculation first happens once after adding the total damage from before and after the CI battle. Then it happens once again after a special attack, pursuit attack, summon, card action ability, touch action ability, or any other attacks from your heroes. As for the guard stat, that is the number that damage reductions will be based on. For instance, if damage dealt before a CI battle is 20% of a hero's power, then the damage reduction will also be by 20% of the defending hero's guard, but with no 10-sided die roll bonuses. Stamina damage per solo or cooperative attack would be a flat 0.5 stamina units for hero types and elite types, but a flat 0.25 for berserker types. The physical stamina gauge will be divided into 4 units because that's the maximum number of stamina units in the gauge. Then those 4 units will be divided into fourths. The stamina gauge clip will be attached to the stamina gauge and can be moved to mark the amount of stamina that a hero has. Card action abilities and touch action abilities involve some sort of minigame mechanic with the controller or touchscreen in the video game, but for the physical game, it would involve the dice. For instance, if a sparking attack is activated, it would be a battle between who can move the control stick from left to right the fastest. Translating the minigame to dice, 2 players can each spin a die and see who gets the higher number. As an example of a die roll for transformation card action abilities, the player can roll a die between both hands with palms crossed and then drag the die out with the palm that is on top in a making it rain kind of motion to replicate the swiping motion required in the video game. Rolling a 1 through 3 will be a great result, and rolling a 4 through 6 will be an amazing result. Since there are so many different actions for these cards, we won't go over each one, but a list of dice actions for card action abilities and touch action abilities would be in the rulebook for reference. As for ultimate units, special accessories, and lock-on abilities, these would all use clips that you can attach to your cards or your opponents depending on what the clips represent. An individual player would have 14 lock-on clips, 14 ability clips, and 13 special accessory clips. Each set of 14 clips will have colors that match in pairs of 2. If the 7 colors in the set of 14 clips were red, blue, green, yellow, orange, purple, and pink, then it makes things easier. For example, imagine the rare instance when all 7 heroes on a team activate a lock-on ability. All you would have to do is assign a hero and the locked-on enemy hero a red lock-on clip, for example, and that would clearly determine that one character is locked onto another without moving the cards themselves. The same idea would apply to anything else listed that uses clips. Special accessory clips indicate that a hero either has a special accessory or an ultimate unit. In the video game, you can customize your cards with custom stat changes, super attacks, abilities, and special accessories. However, only special accessories will be available in the physical card game. Some of these grant new abilities, but also create endless possibilities for new units to be made. Special accessory clips work differently due to units or ultimate units always including exactly 3 heroes, and the max number of units or ultimate units in a team is 2, making up a total of 6 heroes. However, some special accessories only rely on an individual, so in case all 7 heroes have individual special accessories, the other 7 clips will be there for those heroes. For special accessory clips, there would be special accessory cards printed to be sold with the Super Dragon Ball Heroes cards. These can be clipped onto the back of your heroes' cards. If you want to use more than one special accessory for more than one hero, you must own the same number of that card as there are heroes you would like to use it on. We've been through so many concepts and mechanics for this game, but we haven't mentioned hero avatars, and for good reason. We wouldn't want to include them into the physical game because determining rules for choosing the avatar type, stats, card type, and special attacks would really slow down the game. Hero avatars are kind of a blank slate that might be fun to customize in the video game, but wouldn't translate properly in a physical card game. That means any special accessory cards that mention hero avatars will also not be present in the physical card game. There will also be no Super Dragon Ball battles, Porunga Super Dragon Ball battles, or Zeno Orb battles, but only normal battles for the physical game. And that wraps up our idea for a physical Super Dragon Ball Heroes card game. Should Bandai Namco compete with Konami and the physical Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game? If you have any thoughts about a physical Super Dragon Ball Heroes game, or a way to make the game better and more balanced, tell us in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe to our channel, click that bell icon to stay updated, and let us know what you want to see from us next.